All right, settle in, everyone. Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really diving headfirst into some pretty intense stuff. We're looking at Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah, a classic for sure. And we've got excerpts here, mainly from the early parts of the book.
Exactly. We're focusing on Guy Montag, his life at the start, those initial really unsettling encounters he has with Clarice, with Beatty, and the big moments that start to just completely flip his world upside down.
Right. We're digging into the text itself, the source material.
Our mission, basically, is to unpack the most, well, compelling bits from these pages. We want to help you really understand the beginnings of Montag's change and get a feel for this really strange kind of sterile society he's stuck in, straight from Bradbury's words.
Yeah, trying to pull out those key ideas, those moments that really spark his transformation.
So let's jump right in and see what we can find. Okay, so let's start with maybe that scene after Mildred's overdose. It's pretty grim.
Oh, yeah. Right after he finds her. It's incredibly jarring, isn't it? The description of those. Well, they're not really doctors, are they?
Not at all. The text calls them mechanical men. Two strangers, the technicians with these machines. One's got this sort of snake thing that pumps out her stomach, replaces her blood.
It's so invasive, but completely impersonal, like zero emotion. It feels almost industrial.
Totally. And the way they talk about it, one guy is apparently laughing, saying they get 9 or 10 a night.
Right, like it's just another service call, not, someone almost dying. It immediately sets this tone of just profound attachment.
Yeah, this idea that saving a life is just routine maintenance.
And Mildred afterwards, physically she looks okay, right? The source says her cheeks are pink, lips fresh.
Yeah, soft and relaxed. She's just had a good night's sleep.
But there's that line, something like someone else's blood there, if only someone else's flesh and brain and memory. It hits hard.
It does. Because the body's fixed, maybe. But the actual problem, whatever made her do it, that's untouched.
Exactly. And Montag, his immediate thought is he wants her mind dry cleaned, like literally taken out, cleaned, and put back.
Which is a really messed up thought, honestly.
Yeah.
But you kind of get why he'd think that after seeing how mechanical the whole saving her life thing was.
Right. He gets that the issue isn't just physical, it's deeper, something in her consciousness or lack thereof. And the standard fixes in their world just don't cut it for that kind of problem.
It really highlights the state of their relationship, too, this emptiness.
And then later that same night, he can't sleep, obviously.
Understandable.
He opens the windows, it's like 2 a.m., and he hears laughter coming from Clarissa's house nearby.
Yeah, and it strikes him how rare that sound is. His
Right.
house is dark. All the other houses are dark, kept to themselves. But her house is bright, alive with sound.
The description of the sound is amazing, isn't it? Relaxed and hearty, not forced. People just talking, giving, talking, leaving, reweaving their hypnotic web.
It's beautiful, and it's the complete opposite of his own silent, sterile home.
And you see him drawn to it. He actually goes out onto the lawn just wanting to listen. He almost wants to knock and just ask to sit there quiet just to hear what real conversation sounds like.
Which is incredible for a fireman, right? His whole job is stopping that kind of exchange, stopping ideas. But he's craving it.
It shows this longing he didn't even know he had, maybe, until he heard that sound.
And while he's listening, he overhears Clarissa's uncle.
Ah, yes. That's where we get that really chilling analogy.
The disposable tissue one. Oof.
Yeah. The uncle says something like, this is the age of the disposable tissue. Blow your nose on a person, wad them, flush them away.
Reach for another, blow, wad, flush. It's brutal.
It really is. Just the sheer lack of value for human beings. People as objects for convenience, then discarded. No connection, no depth.
Everyone using everyone else's coattails, but nobody knows anyone. It perfectly captures that feeling of superficiality that seems to run through everything in their world.
And it connects right back to Mildred and the medical technicians, doesn't it? The body is a thing to fix. The person is a thing to use and discard. No real intrinsic worth seen in either.
So after all that, the overdose, the weird medics hearing the laughter, that disposable tissue-lined Montag is understandably spinning out.
Totally. The book describes him lying awake, his mind just a jumble, all these new disturbing thoughts crashing together.
He tries to make sense of it, like listing things. Rain, Clarice, Mildred, the uncle, the fire.
Yeah, but it just dissolves into chaos, right? The list repeats, gets jumbled. 1, Clarice. 2, Mildred, blow, wad, flush, 1, 2, 3. It's like his brain can't handle these conflicting inputs.
It really feels like his established reality, the old fire of his job and life, is being challenged by this new Rain Clarissa, the questions, the unease, and he can't hold on to it all.
He feels like he doesn't know anything anymore. That disorientation is terrifying for him.
So what does he do? Pops a sleeping pill. The standard escape in this society. Just numb it, shut it down.
Which says a lot about how they're conditioned, doesn't it? Avoid discomfort, avoid difficult thoughts. Just consume or sedate. His mind literally isn't equipped for complexity.
And then, the next morning, Mildred.
Right. She's up, the automatic toaster hands her buttered toast. More mechanical convenience.
And she's already got the seashells, the electronic bees jammed in her ears, totally plugged in.
Constantly feeding noise into her head. He tries to talk to her, and she has to lip read because she's completely tuned out from the actual world around her.
But here's the absolute kicker. He tries to ask her about the night before. You know, the fact she almost died. Nothing. Blank slate. She literally says, I don't know why I should be so hungry. And then again, I'm hungry.
Wow, just zero recollection, zero impact.
Zero. It's like it never happened.
Yeah.
Her biggest concern is breakfast.
That's profoundly disturbing. It shows how successful the society is at erasing anything unpleasant, anything real. Just keep the surface smooth, keep the noise going. She's completely detached from her own experience.
It's awful. And this is the person he shares his life with. This emptiness, contrasted with the tiny spark of life he saw with Clarice. You can see why his unease is really starting to solidify.
Definitely. Okay, so that unease is growing. Let's talk about the mechanical hound.
Ugh, the hound.
Yeah.
Yeah. This creepy eight-legged thing at the firehouse.
It's not just equipment, is it? It's programmed to hunt, inject poison, or sedatives. And Montag clearly doesn't like it. Says he doesn't like to go near it.
And he mentions, this isn't the first time it's threatened me. Says it happened twice last month. So there's this weird antagonism, like it senses something off about him.
Which is creepy in itself. And when he tells Beatty, the captain...
Beatty just dismisses a classic authority figure. Oh, we'll fix it. And then that really chilling line.
He doesn't think anything we don't want it to think.
Exactly. It's just a tool. Perfectly controlled. No malice. Just programming.
But Montag's reaction is different. He says quietly, that's sad.
Yeah. Because all we put into it is hunting and finding and killing. What a shame if that's all it can ever know.
That's a huge moment, isn't it? He's feeling sorry for a machine because its only purpose is destruction. He's seeing its limitations, maybe reflecting on the limitations imposed on people, too.
Could be. He's lamenting that his potential is just wasted on killing. While Beatty's just like, nah, it's great craftsmanship, hits the bullseye every time.
Completely missing the point. It's all about efficiency of destruction for Beatty.
And then Beatty lands a punch. Why? You got a guilty conscience about something.
Boom, right there. Beatty's sharp. He immediately links Montag's discomfort with this killing machine to potential guilt, to hiding something. He senses the deviation.
Yeah, he's already suspicious. Maybe Beatty's seen this kind of thing before in other firemen.
It's possible. He seems to understand the signs. Which, of course, leads us directly to the cause of all this internal chaos for Montag.
Clarice McClellan.
The catalyst. The source talks about those 7 days he saw her, just walking home together from the subway corner.
It wasn't just one conversation, was it? It was this buildup. Little interactions every day that just started chipping away at his reality.
And the things she does are so simple, but so out of place in their world. Shaking a walnut tree for him, leaving little gifts, flowers, chestnuts, leaves.
Yeah, just small gestures of connection.
Mm-hmm.
And she notices things. The smell of leaves, the way the sky looks. She actually pays attention, asks questions.
Her whole way of being is just different. And it makes him uncomfortable because it's so different. She makes him think.
And she talks about her school. Sounds like hell, honestly.
Right. TV class, sports, transcription. It's all about activity, filling time, but no real engagement.
She nails it when she says, we never ask questions.
Yeah.
They just run the answers at you, bing, 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 filling kids up like empty buckets.
It's a critique of an education system designed purely for compliance, isn't it?
Wow.
Pump in facts, discourage questions, keep them busy, create non-thinkers.
And the kids her age. Scary stuff.
Yeah, she says they kill each other. Just states it. Friends getting shot, dying in car wrecks, playing stupid, dangerous games.
Chicken, not hubcaps.
It shows this breakdown in society, this pent-up aggression, maybe, because there's no healthy outlet. She's actually scared of them.
Which makes sense, given how different she is. Her family, especially her uncle, they remember things, they talk, they clean their own house manually.
It's like a little pocket of the past, of actual living, exists in her house. And what's your favorite thing to do?
Just watch people, trying to figure them out, who they are and what they want and where they're going.
Which is revolutionary, right? In a world designed for passive watching of screens, she's actively trying to understand other humans, seeking depth.
And then she drops that truth bomb on him. People don't talk about anything.
He protests, right? Oh, they must.
Yeah, but she insists they just name things cars, clothes, pools, say how swell. But nobody says anything unique or different. It's all surface level.
She points out the cafes, the joke boxes, the musical walls, all abstract noise and color. Museums, all abstract. No stories, no meaning, just sensory overload.
Her uncle remembers when pictures actually said things or even showed people. It's a world that's actively erased meaning and narrative.
It really is. Designed for distraction, not engagement. No wonder Montag is struck by her uncle, calls him remarkable. Anyone who remembers meaning would be.
So just 7 days of this.
Yeah.
This exposure to actual thought and curiosity.
And then she's gone, just vanishes.
Yeah. And he doesn't even realize he misses her right away, does he?
No, it creeps up on him. By the time he reaches the subway, he feels this vague stirrings of unease. His routine feels wrong, even though it was only a week of walking with her.
He feels like if he just went back, walked the same way, she'd be there. He misses that.
Yeah.
That anchor she briefly provided, maybe.
Or just the disruption she represented. Her absence leaves a hole. It shows how much impact even that short, genuine connection had on his carefully controlled life.
The seed was planted,
Yeah.
just by her being herself.
Exactly, and that makes him vulnerable, ready for the next crack in the foundation.
Okay, so let's go back to the firehouse, the den of conformity.
Right. The source paints this picture of boredom, card games, the background drone of the time voice calling out the hour.
Plus the radio talking about impending war, jets screaming overhead constantly. It's this weird mix of mundane routine and underlying tension.
Yeah, this constant threat of massive destruction is just background noise. They seem numb to it.
And Montag's there, trying to play cards, but he feels Beatty watching him, like he's sticking out somehow.
Yeah, like a museum statue, and he looks at the other firemen.
Stoneman, black, and sees they're all mirror images. Sunburnt faces, soot-colored brows that shaved, ready for battle look. They even smell of burning.
He realizes they're chosen for their looks, their proclivities, their uniform, interchangeable parts of the destruction machine.
And then Montag, with Clarissa's questions buzzing in his head, starts poking the bear. He asked about the guy from last week's fire, the one who went to the asylum.
The one who was quoting books.
Yeah. And Beatty's answer is just chillingly simple.
Any man's insane who thinks he can fool the government and us. Sanity equals compliance. End of story.
But Montag pushes it. He lets himself imagine their houses burning, their books. Catches himself, we haven't any books. But then the hypothetical slips out.
But if we did have some.
Whoa. Dangerous territory. And Beatty picks up on it instantly. You got some. The suspicion is immediate. Just thinking about having books is taboo.
Montag feels exposed. He looks at the list of forbidden books on a wall, then feels that cool wind from the vent grill at home.
Where the stolen book is hidden, it's like the physical secret is making itself known, betraying him right there.
And he keeps going. Asks if it was always like this, if firemen always burned books. Starts with, once upon a time.
Bad phrase to use. Beatty jumps on it. Once upon a time? What kind of talk is that?
Right. It signals history, imagination, things they've suppressed. Montag knows he messed up, thinks, fool. You'll give it away. He tries to backtrack, talk about fireproofing.
But it sounds wrong, doesn't it? The source says it sounds like a much younger voice speaking for him, like Clarisse asking, didn't firemen used to prevent fires? Her questions are literally coming out of his mouth now. He can't keep them down. The historical lie is being challenged.
So Beatty and the others decide to set him straight. They pull out the official rule books, the history texts.
And lay out the approved narrative. Firemen started in 1790 to burn English-influenced books. First fireman, Benjamin Franklin.
Which is just a complete fabrication, a total inversion of history. Franklin, founder of libraries, recast as the first book burner. It's designed purely to legitimize their role as destroyers.
And the rules. Stark. Answer swift, start file swift, burn everything, report back, stand alert.
Pure, efficient destruction. No room for thought, just action. And Montag.
He's just standing there, frozen.
Yeah.
Everyone watching him, he's seeing the lie, the foundation of his whole life, presented as fact.
It's this massive confrontation between the official story and his dawning awareness. He's really seeing it for the first time.
And then, bang, the alarm goes off. Snaps them back into the routine.
Perfect timing, almost. They rush out. Montag slides down the pole like a man in a dream. The salamander engine roars. The hound leaps out. They're off to enforce happiness.
They arrive at this old, Three-story house, clearly not fireproof like the others, looks fragile.
And inside, there's the owner, a woman, and she's not running.
That's the key, isn't it?
Mhm.
She's supposed to be gone, removed by police so they can just burn things. But she's there, standing, waiting.
She completely disrupts their process, makes it personal. Suddenly, they're not just doing janitorial work, they're confronting a human being who refuses to cooperate.
And she quotes that line about lighting a candle in England that will never be put out. Master Ridley.
Referencing martyrs burned for their beliefs, she's framing this not as a crime, but as persecution. She's choosing martyrdom.
Beatty's pissed. He demands to know where the books are, slaps her face coldly. Amazing objectivity, the text says. We find out her neighbor, Mrs. Blake, called it in.
Yeah, just hits her, trying to regain control. Meanwhile, the other firemen rush upstairs, hacking things apart, almost like giddy kids.
They're making noise, breaking stuff, trying to drown out her terrible accusing silence downstairs. But Montag feels at this fine dust of guilt. It feels wrong because she's there.
And then the books start falling down on him.
Yeah, a fountain of books. One lands in his hands like a white pigeon.
And his hand acts on its own.
It does. With a brain of its own, with a conscience and a curiosity. Had turned thief. It's not a rational decision. His hand just does it, grabs a book.
That instinct, that subconscious urge awakened by everything he's experienced, just takes over. The need for something real manifests physically.
And he sees that line flash in his mind. Time has fallen asleep in the afternoon sunshine.
Such a strange, beautiful, out-of-place line for that moment, isn't it? It speaks to slowness, reflection, maybe the very things their society has killed. A moment of unexpected meaning in the chaos.
He drops the first book, but then grabs another, shoves it under his armpit, hidden, then tries to look innocent like nothing happened. Magicians flourish.
He's done it, the irreversible act, and now he's desperately trying to cover it up, maintain the facade. The internal conflict is right there.
Downstairs, they're soaking everything with kerosene from the numbered 451 tanks. The woman is still there, among the books, touching them, her eyes accusing Montag.
She's having this final moment with her treasures while Beatty tries to argue with her, twisting logic, calls the books a Tower of Babel, says they don't agree, the people in them never lived. He dismisses her stand as fanaticism.
And Montag, watching this horror, actually tries to save her, puts his hand on her arm, asks her to come with them.
But she refuses. I want to stay here. She's made her choice.
Then she opens her hand, shows them an ordinary kitchen match.
The ultimate act of defiance. She's taking control, choosing her own end, surrounded by what she values. That simple match terrifies these men with their flamethrowers.
Beatty backs off, trying to keep his cool. Montag thinks, always at night the alarm comes. Wonders if it's for a better show, more spectacle.
He's seeing the performative aspect, isn't he? The destruction as entertainment, happening under the cover of darkness.
And then she strikes the match. Ignites everything, herself included. And people run out of their dark houses to watch the fire.
The spectacle Montag just thought about. The neighbors emerge from isolation, drawn to the destruction.
The ride back is silent. Utterly silent. Nobody talks. Nobody smokes. Her act shook them.
It broke through their professional detachment, at least for a bit.
And Montag finally asks Beatty about Master Ridley.
And Beatty knows it perfectly. Knows the history, Latimer and Ridley, burned for heresy, 1555.
He knows the quote, "We shall this day light such a candle." He knows about martyrdom for ideas, even as he creates new martyrs. It's insane.
He's this walking contradiction, isn't he? Full of the knowledge he destroys. He even admits most fire captains have to be, using knowledge to justify erasing it.
And then Stoneman almost misses the turn. Petey gets annoyed. The routine tries to snap back. But you feel like for Montag, something is permanently broken.
Definitely. That interruption, the woman's sacrifice, his own theft, it's changed him irrevocably.
So where does that leave Montag? We've seen him go from, a guy who maybe even enjoyed his job a week ago.
Yeah, I thought burning was fun.
To someone completely torn apart by guilt, doubt, and this awful unease.
Clarice cracked the door open, showed him connection and curiosity. Mildred showed him the terrifying emptiness and detachment his society fosters.
And the old woman. She forced him to confront the human cost of his job, the value of the very things he destroys. Her sacrifice was impossible to ignore.
And his own act, stealing that book, his hand acting instinctively, that's the point of no return, really.
Right.
He now possesses the forbidden.
These events aren't isolated. They're all connected, feeding into each other, fueling this internal fire that's starting to mirror the external ones he sets. The old conformity is burning away.
It's amazing how fast it happens once those first cracks appear. Once he's exposed to difference, to genuine feeling, to resistance, the whole structure starts to crumble. His mind isn't empty anymore, it's filling up with questions.
So here's the thought to leave you with. Think about this society Bradbury shows us in these early pages. Happiness is mandatory, conflict is suppressed, connection is replaced by distraction.
They value speed, efficiency, conformity, easy entertainment. But what gets lost? Thinking critically, talking deeply, knowing history, feeling genuine emotion, basically complexity, the right to be unhappy even.
Does any of that sound familiar? Even faintly? Where do we maybe choose comfort over questioning? Passive scrolling over real connection? Easy answers over hard truths?
Yeah, what happens when we stop wanting to be bothered about something important, about something real, as Montag himself later craves? What's the real cost of prioritizing smooth surfaces and artificial happiness over digging into the messy, complex, sometimes uncomfortable stuff of life and ideas?
Heavy stuff. But Bradbury really nailed something timeless there, didn't he?
He absolutely did. These opening chapters lay down such a powerful foundation for exploring censorship, conformity, and what happens when one person starts to wake up. You see his mind catching fire.
And that's our deep dive for today. We've explored those first sparks of rebellion in Guy Montag. Thanks for tuning in and digging through the source material with us.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, and maybe find something real to be bothered about.